guys, welcome back to video number 2 on my YouTube channel. Last time I left off with a little bit of a teaser showing you guys that big old beautiful anvil that I bought last time. I want to get that sucker on a proper stand because the one it came on, the one that the guy sold it to me with, is very old, very cool, but unfortunately it's just not quite up to the standards that I would like it to have. So that's what we're going to do today, is whack up a bunch of old 4x4s that I've been slowly collecting up over time, clean those up, sandwich them into a cube, and hopefully come up with something sturdy and solid for that anvil to sit on. But first, a couple things I want to do, two things I want to do, is I want to actually check the weight of that anvil. The guy told me it was 380 pounds, and I bought a little mini crane scale, so I want to hoist that up in the air and see what it actually weighs by itself. And I would also like to ask everybody, if you know more about anvils than I do, which, trust me, does not take a lot, because I don't know much about anvils at all. I love them, and I'm slowly learning more. So if you would, I'm going to take a couple shots of the anvil itself and show you the markings and stuff and give you an idea of what I think it is. And if you could, leave a comment down below of what you think it is, or what brand you think it is, or any ideas. Just feel free to leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear you guys' input. Okay, so here's the big old beautiful beast right here. So all it has on the side is marked England right here. I don't know if you can see that. Focus camera. Focus! There we go. Okay, it just has England stamped in the side. So I think this is actually very similar to a Peter Wright. They had made in England, patent, I think there was a few other things marked on there, but I can't really be sure. Let me know what you guys think this is. I'll show you the stand. So it's actually really cool. I think these are old bridge timbers or something. But it's so old that all the hot slag and sparks and stuff have been hitting the side of this for so long, it's actually worn into it. It's really amazing. But unfortunately, as cool as this is, it is really wobbly and not stable at all. It came with these 2x6s around the bottom to kind of stabilize it, but really when it comes down to it, it's not what I want to leave this on. Yeah, let's do it. Let's hoist this sucker up in the air and see how much she weighs. There we go, she's free floating. Let's see how much it weighs. 361.6. Ah, the mess. It's a disaster in here. It's so much cleaning to do, but oh, look at how good that looks. Oh man. She's coming along nicely. Compared to the old one. Look at that thing. Blech. Alright, so I think that's where we're going to leave it for today. We made pretty good progress. I kind of want to give it the night, make sure the glue sets up properly and everything kind of dries. So basically we got everything, all 3-4 sides glued and screwed together. I used these construction screws. I actually really like how they work. They seem to work really well. So we're going to try them out. Hopefully they hold everything together and it doesn't just fall apart in 2 days. It would be nice. We got the sides inset or chamfered or whatever you want to call it, ready to accept some angle iron. I sanded everything, sanded in between the sections just because I wanted to try and get as much contact as possible between the sides, because these aren't perfect 4x4s. I kind of collected them from everywhere, so all of them are kind of, some of them are old, they're a little bit different sizes, they're not perfectly square, blah blah blah, so I just kind of wanted to sand those to get as much surface area contact as possible. So hopefully that will make it a solid block, because that's kind of what we're going for, is we want everything in here to be as solid, transfer as much energy back into whatever you're hitting on the anvil as possible, because the more energy is lost in something sloppy or not solid, the less energy from your hammer goes into whatever piece you're working on the anvil. Yeah, so that's about it, I think. Oh, no. Also, what I want to do is inset the base of this anvil inside the actual stand. And then probably use a router, maybe? Maybe router? Use a router, cut into the stand itself, and inset the base in, and that'll keep it from walking around. But that's tomorrow's territory, so. It's another day, and our glue should be dry. We're gonna get started, cut up some angle iron, get a frame welded up for this thing, sandwich it all together. Let's do it.
It's a tug of war, battling to keep my sanity. Say no more, say no more. I love you, but I can't keep killing me. I look at myself, I wonder why you don't recognize who you traumatize me. Now what do I do? Pick up the pieces and go.
I screwed up. Lack of attention, not using a tape measure, and just not having enough of a plan or going through it quite enough as much as I should. What I want to do is router in the base of the anvil into the top of this wood so it doesn't move on the top of the anvil. And I didn't take into account how far this steel sticks in. So, unfortunately, I won't be using my big anvil on this stand. Thankfully, I do have a little Peter Wright, I'm not sure what the weight is, that does fit inside this steel on the top. The only problem with that is it's a little bit shorter than my big anvil, but I think we can come up with something to put underneath the base of this anvil to lift the whole thing up to come up with the correct height for the anvil. Just goes to show you. Measure 4 times, cut once. It only takes a couple minutes to go back and check something to make sure it's gonna work while you're in the middle of it instead of waiting to the end. But yeah, just kind of gah. So this is what I mean when I say I'm gonna have to cut away the steel from where it sits. So I'm okay over here, I'm almost okay over here, but I would have to trim into this steel or take this right out or make it smaller or something, I'm not sure. But yeah, silly mistake. I wasn't really paying attention, and that's what happens. And to add insult to injury, guess what Mother Nature decided to do because we live in northern Alberta? Take a wild guess. Snow everywhere. Yay! So there's a little Peter Wright on it. Fits a lot better. I'll be able to router in the shape of the base of the anvil here and inset it a lot easier. It's not interfering with the steel anywhere. I think we're still okay, but unfortunately the height isn't quite there. Make a fist and you want your knuckles just to be brushing the surface of the anvil. So as you can see, we're about, probably 4 inches out. That's something we can fix though. But I mean, come on. It still looks good. Look at that thing. Yow! Coming out nice or what? I think it's turning out really well. I really like the contrast between the bare steel and the wood. Super solid. Cannot ask for much better than that, I don't think. One more thing, well, the shop is a complete and awful disaster. I want to build a small tool rack off the front to hold a couple hammers or tongs or anything you might be holding. So quickly do that, and then I did want to show the difference between before and after the anvil being on this stand as far as rebound and sound goes. And then I want to quickly check the weight. So what this anvil weighs by itself, and then what it weighs with the stand as well. Because this stand is actually really heavy, surprisingly. I bet you it just about doubles the weight of this anvil by itself. So that's a really good thing. You want as much weight as possible to keep your rebound as good as possible, so far as I know. But yeah, let's build a little tool rack.
And you're driving me crazy. You keep on running. Slow down, you move too fast now. I'm telling slow down, I can't keep up now. Your heart is shrinking faster, baby. There's enough to come out of your mouth, out of your soul, out of your soul.
And one more quick comparison that I wanted to do was the sound difference and a little bit of the rebound between the Anvil by itself and when it's attached to a solid stand. So we'll try and do a side-by-side sound comparison here, but this is a steel ball bearing. I don't know what it is. I think it's 1 inch, maybe, something like that. Anyways, that worked well. Hold on. Take 2. So I don't know how well the camera's gonna pick that up. We'll just do it again when it's reattached to the stand and see how it sounds. Sound test number 2. Ah! I almost made it through that whole thing without screwing up. Woo! Alright, well this has actually been a really fun, rewarding project. It came together really well in my opinion. It looks good anyways. I mean, come on. Look at that thing. It just looks good. You have to admit it. I don't know if it actually functions properly. I'm not experienced in that area. I'd need somebody who is an experienced blacksmith to tell me if it functions like a proper anvil stand should. But there was a big difference between the before and after attaching it to the stand. I think it turned out pretty well. I'm gonna have to fool around with it, do some things on it, and see what I think in the future. But if anybody has any comments of how I could have done it better or more efficient or differently, feel free, leave a comment down below. If you want to see more projects like this, go and subscribe, like the video. That's always really good encouragement for me to keep putting out videos like these. I do have lots more projects in mind. I'm going to give you one little sneak peek, and I want everybody to guess what they think the next project is going to be. I appreciate everybody watching, and we'll see you next time. Any guesses? No takers? I guess you'll have to watch the next one to find out.